I'll start. We'll start and talk a little bit, and then you can grab somebody if you want. Or so. All right, here we go. Live from the Performing Arts Center at FPC High School, it is the 2024 Flagler Coast Athletics Awards Night pre-show party hosted by WNZF. More specifically, the WNZF Sports Network. I'm Rich Carroll along with Mike Licio, and it is an honor to be here. Thank you so much to FPC High School and Coach Drabzik, the athletic director, for inviting us to be a part of this awesome night. We'll have live looks, as you can see right now, of the red carpet and interviews with FPC athletes as they stop by on their big night. Mike, nobody follows local sports like you do.
It's an exciting night to be here. The weather turned out perfect. We're in the shade, which is a big plus for me. Well, and some athletes have already started to arrive. I see a lot of people like Lily Paritis, who just committed to Coker College and signed her letter of intent yesterday. A couple of all-county softball athletes who will be appearing with us very shortly. Some coaches like Coach Romton Amiri, Coach Paritis from the volleyball team. So there's a lot of people already arriving, and it should be a big night here at the Flagler Auditorium.
And it's a great way to really cap off the year for the WNZF Sports Network, because this was a big year for us covering sports here locally in Flagler County and covering FPC High School with you on the morning sports every Monday and Friday, just bringing that in-depth coverage that I think is top in the county. And, of course, we're really the only media source covering live sporting events here, and we did that beyond what we have in the past. We always did football, but this year we did the baseball, we did the basketball, we got a softball game in there. So it's just been a special year here, and for us to close out the year at this ceremony, again, thank you so much to Coach Drabzik for inviting us out here to be here.
They've always been very accommodating to us, allowing us the opportunity to put the spotlight on these kids and these teams, and tonight will be no different. Both athletic directors have always welcomed us with open arms, and this seemed like too much of an opportunity to pass up being here on a night like tonight.
What was one of your highlights this past year, just covering sports here at FPC?
It's a tough question. That's a tough question. I think, you know what? I'm going to be selfish. When I called Marcus Mitchell scoring a touchdown, and then he did. That was one of my favorite moments.
Right, Marcus Mitchell, of course, breaking his father's record here at the school. That was
great
a huge
moment.
deal.
Colby, one of them just happened on Saturday. Colby Cronk winning a state championship and winning a silver medal in the discus after winning a state championship in the shot put. So a lot of great memories from the beginning to the end. Baseball at FPC made a great run. It was fun to watch that.
Yeah.
On the Matanzas side, we saw the emergence of Henry Robinson Jr. on the basketball court.
And that was one of my highlights. Just, the gym here at FPC that place was electric for that game. It was one of the best atmospheres I've ever seen for local sports. And to cover that and be there was just amazing. And it was a great game. FPC was there for the entire game. They gave Matanzas all they could.
Yep, and FPC boys soccer had a successful season. FPC girls soccer fought through some injuries and made quite the run after that, going on a long winning streak after losing their captain. So a lot of things, and we'll get to talk to a lot of those athletes tonight.
Yeah, and we're looking forward to talking to everybody. And of course, all of the Matanzas FPC crosstown rivalry games. We just talked about the which one was that? That was the Battle for Belterre with the basketball. The Old Kings Diamond Series, which FPC took those. They took both of those games. And, of course, the football game as well. It was a big year for the Matanzas Pirates as they made the playoffs, went to Tallahassee. But it was the Bulldogs that won the crosstown showdown here, the Potato Bowl.
Yeah, that was a night to remember. A little unusual. So used to that being the first night of the season, and it was weird to have it in the middle of the season, and I believe this year it's going to be at the end. So times they are changing in Flagler County.
At times they are changing for sure. Just getting started here live from the Performing Arts Center at FPC. It is their athletics awards ceremony. And I don't know, Mike, have you ever won an award before?
I mean, I have a couple. I guess the only things I have like that are framed are actually a couple of mementos. I got a plaque and I got a little microphone stand with my name engraved on it from the FPC girls basketball program when I was the voice of FPC girls basketball for those 3 seasons. Coach Butts, I'm available if you need me.
Yeah, we're going to try to get some coaches on here. Athletic Director Drabzik will join us. We've got some other players stopping by, and I'll be modest. Yes, I've won many awards.
Of course.
And big trophies and the whole thing. But tonight's not about me. At least maybe the first 10 minutes of the show is about me. No, we're super pumped up to be here, and I guess let's try to get Drabzik on here first. Let's see if we could get him over here. I'll give him the old wave down. He's shaking hands. He's doing, hey, Coach. Yeah, we're on the air now. Why don't you join us for a second here? Come on over. There he is. You could go right there.
That is perfect.
Grab one of those microphones. What a special night and super awesome to be here. Thank you so much for inviting us to be a part of it.
Guys, thank you for being out here tonight. Like we've said all year, we appreciate our relationship with WNZF and everything you guys do for high school sports. And so just to have you out here on the red carpet and be with our student athletes and just having, being able to honor all of our kids and our coaches tonight is really special. It's just a great way to cap off another great year. So thank you guys so much.
And yeah, go ahead.
I would say, what was your, you're wrapping up your first year as athletic director. You got here in the summer. What has this last year been like for you?
It feels like we just started yesterday. It's been a great year. It's been so much fun being back home. Obviously, we've had some great performances and a lot of great memories, and so it's been everything that I could have possibly imagined being back, and I just love FPC so much. This is awesome. So,
and not a lot of people get that opportunity to come home and do what they love, where they learn to love it, right? And here you are, kind of living that dream. What's that like?
It's me and Mr. Bossadet and our other alumni talk about it all day, how to be on the other side of the coin now again. And we've said this all the time, being able to make an impact on the same campus in the same area that we grew up in, it's uncommon. It's such a privilege. There's never a day that we take for granted, and we just hope we're making everybody proud. It's really special, and we just appreciate the opportunity. So.
No truth to the rumor that Principal Bossadet spends less time in the principal's office now than he did as a student, right?
I'm not going to comment on that. No, he definitely didn't spend any time. Now in the wrestling room, there's that. Yeah, that was different. No, he was a good student. I don't question him, that's for sure.
Being involved in FPC athletics for so long, how does it compare now to when you were here?
Well, we just got more sports. There's more visibility. I think, we've said the athletic director job and just athletics has changed in high school over the past 10 years. Heck, it's changed over the past 2 years, but I think there's just more visibility. There's more, you're constantly working with social media and digital media, and you're constantly trying to brand yourself. And so it's changed drastically. I think a lot of it for the good, right? And so it does add more to the daily job to make sure that you're trying to uphold that super high standard. But it's, again, I think I just love where our athletic department is and the direction that we're heading. It's definitely changed a lot since 2001. I know that, but it's all for the good.
And how about tonight, where you have a night where we're broadcasting this and you get an opportunity to honor and thank the students, the athletes, for bringing that awareness, because it all starts with them on the off season, putting that preparation in, the hard work to be noticed, to win state championships, to win football games, win basketballs. How about a night like tonight where we get to acknowledge them and honor them?
Absolutely. When we sat down and started talking about how we're going to do our end of the year awards banquet, for a long time we've kind of done a sit-down banquet with a nice meal and all that stuff, and we said we want to change kind of how we do this, right? Like, we want kids to be excited about showing up, taking pictures, having a DJ, doing some different things that maybe we've done in the past, and so it's been great to work with Amy and the Fitzgerald Performing Arts Center, allowing us to be in this space and kind of do something different, so it's a culmination of the athletic year, but we said it, as soon as we get back from Memorial Day this weekend, next Tuesday we start summer workouts, so we're already starting to hit replay, and we're going to be back at it. So tonight's going to be super special, again, being able to honor 31 of our student athletes, our coaches, coach of the year. It's going to be pretty cool.
Pretty exciting, and I got to say, one of my highlights was you doing the PA work for the basketball games. You had the pipes for it, man.
Well, it's something that I enjoy doing when we have time and when we have availability. I think in the future we are looking for anybody that wants to be involved in that. We will take people that like being on the mic, but I enjoy it. So,
well, I'm ready to come out of retirement for girls basketball.
Well,
so we'll have a conversation in the fall, but
we'll call your agent.
I know Coach Butts is hitting around to me that
of course he has. Well, I don't know if we can afford the NIL money that it's going to take to get you back behind the mic, but we'll see what we can do. We may have to talk to some people.
You get the hometown discount.
There you go.
So you'll be our kind of guest gatherer here tonight.
Yep.
What can we expect on the show here the next hour?
Yeah, we're gonna be trying to feed some student athletes and coaches over here just for some interviews, and just try to get people to again talk about their experience this year and just brag on them a little bit. So over the next couple of minutes, we're gonna try to walk around and force some people over here and get them behind the mic. So again, we appreciate it.
Well, full disclosure, as the softball guy that I am, I've already told Lexi, Laura, and Mackenzie West that they need to come over here as our first guest. So
I'm gonna go. I actually will go grab them. I think they went into the 3D photo booth, so I'm gonna run in there and grab them. And actually, they might be walking out right now. So I'm gonna go. So we'll go get them and bring them over here.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Hey, Coach, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for inviting us out to be here.
Thanks again,
we really
guys.
Appreciate it.
We appreciate everything you guys do for us. Sincerely, we couldn't do what we do without you, and we just love the hometown support. So thanks for being here.
It's our pleasure.
Awesome,
there he
guys.
is, Athletic Director, FPC High School, Scott Drabzik, doing an amazing job, and it was a pleasure to cover it all year long.
It sure was, and it happens so quick. August comes, and you have the kickoff classics, and you have the jamborees, and the next thing you know, you're sitting here at the end of the year, and I'm back home at night, and my wife's wondering when I'm going to find something to do to leave her alone and get out of her hair. It's golf season is what happens. The sports season ends, and it becomes golf season, and it happens so quickly, but it really was so much fun. You get a little break at winter break, although we did do a game during winter break.
That's
so
right.
We didn't, no rest for the weary. In fact, I think we did 2 the first week of January. So we hit the ground running in January, and then it was just a sprint to the finish.
And this was the first year for us where it was literally, nonstop once the football season started, because we covered both teams, a couple of long trips. We talked about it to Tallahassee and also to Swanee.
Swanee, good old Live Oak.
Yeah. And
the Brown Lantern, highly recommend.
That's
shout
right.
Out shout out Brown Lantern.
I forgot about that. Yeah, the Brown Lantern, nice little restaurant there locally. And when you go on these trips, that is a vital component, is to find a good place to eat. That's what you do. And we have a couple guests coming on now, so here we go.
Hello, we've got...
Why don't you slide over, Mike? Let them get a little more into the picture here. We got 2 microphones set up here for you ladies, 2 chairs there. Get you guys in frame. All right, yep, you got those, but get those headsets on there.
So to introduce everybody, we've got FPC softball players Lexi Laura and Mackenzie West. Today they were selected as All-Area by the Daytona Beach News Journal, so congratulations on that, ladies.
Thank you. Thank you.
Lexi, I'll start with you. Returning to this team, new coach this year, and you as the #1 pitcher were kind of the anchor for the team. Was there a lot of pressure going into this year?
I felt with the incoming teammates that we had coming in, I did feel pressure for my spot. But after the season started, I felt that we were all pretty good together and that everything would have been okay.
And it seemed like you got off to a hot start and got that confidence early.
Yes, sir. I was a little bit, upset because I thought my spot was going to get taken. I wasn't getting a lot of playing time. And then when I saw that they weren't competing as well, that was my chance to step up and do my job.
You talk about the pressure. How do you handle that pressure? How do you deal with it?
So always growing up, I was always terrible under pressure. I would not show it well, and I had to grow through it and kind of compose myself. And I was able to, through the years, control it, and now I don't show it as well.
And for Mackenzie, for you, first you're a freshman, right?
Yes, sir.
I didn't misremember that. A lot's happened. But what was it like your first year in high school?
I was very nervous. I didn't think I was going to make varsity, and I didn't want, like, I've always grown up playing baseball, and I've always wanted to be the best, and it was nerve-wracking, but I feel like I proved my, like, spot. I feel like I earned it, and it was great.
That's a huge accomplishment to make varsity as a freshman. How about that?
Yes, sir.
And then on top of it, all area, one of the best players in the area. Is that something you could have expected at the beginning of the year?
I did not expect that at all. I was very nervous going into my freshman year.
Was there something from the past couple of years that got you prepared for this as an athlete? You know, any type of sports that made you feel like, oh yeah, I can do this, and you came in with that confidence?
Yes, sir.
What was it?
I played baseball, and just coaches and everything just got me to where I am now.
So, baseball, who's your favorite player?
Mookie Betts plays for the Red Sox.
Oh, no.
Mookie Betts,
Oh, no.
former
now.
Red Sox. This interview's over. No, I'm just kidding.
You ruined a good thing. Lexi, you're committed to go to Florida State College of Jacksonville. I was actually talking to Chris Boyle from the News Journal, and I said, yeah, Lexi's committed to go to college right over there. I pointed over the trees that you went up. I said, somewhere over there. How excited are you to get up to Jacksonville?
I'm super excited. I think that it's going to be a great season because they have a lot of incoming freshmen coming up, so the whole program's going to be changed around.
And what do you do to prepare yourself? Because that's a big change, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and this is obviously a big night for you here. How do you prepare for that change?
I kind of just tell myself it's a fresh start with new people that I've never met, so it's kind of like rebirth. You're regrowing into a new person with new people.
And then for you, Mackenzie, how do you build on this freshman year? You went from not knowing if you were going to make the varsity team to now you're a key part of the team. How do you grow on that going into the next year?
I'm just going to focus on being a leader, trying to help our incoming freshmen grow and be better, even like the players that are returning. Just trying to be a leader and get people to where they need to be.
How do you guys stay motivated? Because obviously you had success, right? Now there's an off season and there are other things you could be doing. How do you stay motivated to be successful in the sport?
I feel like the love for the game keeps you motivated. People who aren't entwined with it kind of just fall off and just say whatever it is, what it is. But people who are there for the sport tend to find more joy in it.
I've always looked at people better than me and in college, and I've always wanted to be on TV and play, and so I just look at people that are better and already at that point and try and grow to be them or be better.
Did you always love baseball, or was it something that came from family?
No, I've always loved baseball. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So are you all rooting for the Gators this week?
No.
Good.
Florida State.
All right, you're back. You won me back. I was actually at Florida for the Florida Gulf Coast game this weekend, and it was kind of weird because I don't know if I told this story or not, but I left there, and I'm a Georgia Bulldog fan, and so I was there because my cousin's daughter plays for Gulf Coast. And so I was rooting for Gulf Coast to begin with, and then I get out and I take the shuttle back to my car. I say, oh, yeah, stop at the car with the Georgia Bulldog tag. So you're back. Well, ladies, we appreciate you joining us. Have a great night. Good luck tonight winning some awards, and congratulations again on being all area.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you.
Congratulations. All right, there you go, our first guest, Mike.
Mackenzie West and Lexi Laura from FPC softball. Of course, like I said, we were going to lead off with softball. You know, let's get this young man over here. I can see if we... I know. I got my Bulldog green tie.
You got the Bulldog green tie on. If you had a blue one on, I probably would have said something.
Trying to get some more guests over here. Yeah, I saw the tie, Mike. I almost fainted.
Well, they said the dress, so I did.
Yeah, well, you got to wear clothes. That's you got to dress. You got to dress. Oh, here we go. We got somebody else coming over here.
Yep.
Get sit
Gentlemen, grab a headset. Coach, good to see you.
Hey, how's it going?
How you doing?
What's up, fellas? All right. These two chairs right here into that frame right there in the camera. There you go.
All right, so introduce yourself to the world.
I'm Coach Ramtin Amiri. I coach the boys soccer team here at FPC.
And I'm Chase McGee. Played for Rumpton.
All right.
Chase did a lot of playing. Chase actually was at track on Saturday as well.
That is true, yeah.
Wow, Chase, perfect name for a good runner.
Yeah.
Except he does pole vault.
Pole
So
vault.
he does very little running.
Oh, okay.
You run down the runway.
You still got to run, right?
Exactly.
Were you still there when that pole snapped?
Oh, yeah. That was the dude right in front of me.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was gnarly.
So let's start with that. We'll start and work our way backwards for you, Chase. What was it like to get to compete at state this year?
Say again?
What was it like to compete at state this year?
So, honestly, like, I definitely take soccer way more seriously. I've been playing soccer since I was about 4. But, yeah, after soccer ended, I was like, hey, man, I only got track left, so I'm going to give it my all. And I didn't honestly expect to make it to states, but I just put in the work and trusted Coach Lightsey, and, yeah, I ended up making it, placed 12th.
How did you end up on the pole vault?
So I was actually a 400 and 800 runner, kind of just staying in shape for soccer season. And then they were like, hey, you should try pole vault. You know, you're pretty athletic. And I was like, all right. So then, yeah, I just kind of got into it.
Is there a fear of heights that goes into that or no?
Yeah, learning it, there's definitely a big learning curve. It's probably the hardest sport I do for sure.
You got to learn how to fall too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Part of it?
Yeah, a lot of falls. A lot of falls.
And what is it, soccer is generally looked at as kind of the fourth sport here in America. You say you've been into it since you were 4 years old. How did that start with you?
Well, I don't know. Both my parents never played soccer, but they just kind of threw me in and I fell in love with it.
Did you try all the sports when you were a kid but gravitated?
Yeah, I started with soccer originally. I played a little, upward church basketball, did flag football, I just did a bunch of things. But, like, soccer has always been my favorite. I started, like, competitive when I was about 8 or 9.
And you said you weren't, I wasn't expecting much from these other sports. What is it like when you surprise yourself like that and you're successful at something that you're not so much expecting?
I mean, it was a really awesome feeling, because I was like, I worked hard, but obviously soccer was just always the priority for me. And then after soccer season ended, I was like, you know what, maybe I'm just going to put my all into this, and ended up being really, really great. Like, I was loving that end of the season, and, like, I just completely peaked at the right time and everything, and it just went, honestly, the best I could even ask for.
And, Coach, you encourage that multiple sports stay out there, stay active? Does that help with the game?
I don't know if I would use the word encourage, but it's cool to have an athlete that does 3 sports. I mean, it sucks in that 2-week time frame where we're waiting for Chase to get back from football. But, he's successful in all of them. I mean, all-area athlete in football, all-area athlete in soccer, and I'm sure all-area athlete in track and field too. So, I mean, it's great. We have multiple athletes on our team that do it, that do 2-3 sports. And as long as they're doing something, it keeps them in shape for soccer season when it comes time.
This year, you guys had one of the best seasons you've had in years, winning 19 games. What was it like for the difference between this season and last season?
I wish it was 19. It was 16. But
16.
Yeah.
They didn't know that. 16.
I think for myself and the team that we just came into the season with a very different mindset, especially because the core of the team were so young. Like, I have guys who are now juniors and seniors that were starting as freshmen just on teams that weren't the best. And if you give them those 2-3 years of development, by the time that they're juniors and seniors, they're going to be good. But I think them, especially Chase and the juniors, having gone through what we have gone through in the last 2 years, which is last year we came back in January and didn't win a single game. So if that's your last memory of high school soccer, and then you have 8 months between the end of last season and the start of this season, you have that bitter taste of, I haven't won a game
all
in
year.
Months.
Right.
In 2024. So they came in, we're like, we're going to change this. So they wanted to come in with the attitude and the mindset, we're going to make this season a little bit different and make it special so that we don't have to go through that again. Because going a whole month, especially in soccer season, because games happen quick. That was like 8 or 9 games we didn't win. So now you come into a season where we're now 10 games where we haven't lost. So that's very big, but that's all on them and their mindset that they came in with.
And how do you use that as motivation to where it could go the other way where you feel negative about it, and but you use it as a motivator to be better and to win games.
Yeah, I was absolutely that I really felt bad for some of the seniors that year, especially. I mean, we had one really important senior that definitely didn't want that to happen, Grayson.
Yeah.
And I think everybody this season just like bought in, and we retained most of our starters. So already having that previous year of playing together, like we were all familiar with each other. Whereas I feel like every single season it was just like, oh, now you're playing with a different set of faces. Whereas like this season, it was because you're playing with the same players, you started trusting each other and building those like connections on the field that made us win a lot more games.
And is it an X's and O's thing, or is it just the players buying in more to your system and what you're trying to do? Like, how do you turn that around?
Well, it's both. We definitely changed the way we played this year. Like, we completely changed the formation, changed the tactics going into it. It took us 2 or 3 games to figure that out because we tried to go off what we did the previous year, which clearly wasn't working. But 2 or 3 games into the season, we changed the tactics and the formation. Some personnel changed around. It was definitely different, but also if you have the same mindset of, oh, I haven't won a game all month, if you come in with that mindset, no matter what I put out, it's still not going to work. So you have to come in with a mindset, I'm going to change this and I'm going to win games. So, yes, we changed the formation and the tactics, but it was, at the end of the day, it was the players buying in. We changed the formation against Beachside without having even practiced that formation, but it worked because they bought in. And they all have soccer IQs. They're smart enough to know what it is. It's just, are you going to buy into what I'm saying so that we can, move forward and forget the losses and try to get some wins under our belt, which is what we did at the end.
And, Coach, you never stopped coaching. I know you coach youth soccer, but this summer you've got another title you've added to it. Why don't you tell the people about that?
I took a position. I coach women's semi-pro soccer here in Palm Coast. So we compete in the UPSL Women's League, and we're supposed to kick off our season June 1st.
Oh, excellent.
Now the men's team is coming off a championship. Is there a lot of pressure there to have that? Do you have that expectation right away, or is it going to take time?
I don't know what to expect because I don't know anything about the teams that are in our league or the teams in the other conferences. So I have actually no idea what to expect. Obviously, we want to win every game, but we're a young team. When you think of semi-pro, you think of some of the best players and best athletes around. We got some of the best players that are still in high school in our team, so we're very, very young when it comes to the semi-pro level. So I don't know what these other teams have and who's on their rosters, but we've got some very, very good players. We've got some good FPC alumni like my sister, good FPC like Miracles on our. We have got Miracle Porter from Matanzas, but then we also have some current players here at FPC that are on the team.
His sister, by the way, coaches at the alma mater, St. Augustine. She's still at St. Augustine now, right?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, so.
Yeah.
And how long does it take to prepare for this kind of season coming up where you don't know much about the league? You know you got good players. Like what kind of work goes into getting ready for something like that?
It's just practice. So we've been practicing since March. We've had one friendly game against an academy in Jacksonville, which is a combination of the best high school athletes in the state of in the North Florida region. But again, we're gonna do what any team would do, which is prepare in the best way. Make sure the practices are intense. But in terms of knowing what the other teams are going to bring, we just got to make sure that we bring our best game, and we'll just figure out what the other teams are going to bring on the day of the games.
Now, how about tonight where it's about your year, right? You're the athlete. This is the FPC, athletic ceremony, award ceremony. You've had a successful season. You went out there, maybe exceeded some expectations, had a great year. You get a night tonight to celebrate that. Just talk about it.
I mean, I honestly found out about it last night, but so it was a little bit unexpected, but absolutely a good surprise. Gonna be a cool night.
All right.
Well, you've been busy, and I wanted to ask you before you left. I told you I was going to work backwards. It was a hectic football season, wasn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't exactly the way we wanted it to go, but I definitely still had fun. Coach Fish is a very good coach. I think he's going to put a good program together in years to come.
Yeah, I think we see that. We saw, you guys played well down the stretch. How about you, Coach? A night to kind of celebrate the year that was. You talk about the 16 wins and turning things around. What does it mean to be here tonight and celebrate the athletes?
Just having an event like this really goes to show the kind of athletes we have here at FPC. But again, this is a chance to celebrate our last season, one more time. We had our own individual banquet. I'm sure we'll have some fun at the the Daytona Beach News Journal banquet coming up in 2 weeks. But this is an opportunity for all the best athletes at FPC to get together, and celebrate their seasons before the school year runs out.
Well, thank you very much, guys.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you so much.
Good
Yeah,
luck tonight.
thank you. Awesome. Thank you for being on with us. Congratulations, man.
Thank you again.
Congratulations, Coach.
Thanks, Chase. Thanks, Coach.
All right, we are here, the FPC Athletic Awards Ceremony at the Performing Arts Center. You know what I'm going to do right now, producer Sharon, she put together a 60-second video with some pictures, and we'll run that right now, just highlights from FPC this past year. Yes, we do. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the world.
I'm Christina.
And I'm David Bosserdet.
Nina, by the way, we are going to run that interview. I interviewed Nina, national champion, state champion. What has this year been like for you?
It's just a blessing, overcoming adversity, and I just have the best coach in the world, and it's just fun.
Coach DiAugustino?
Both.
He's not here right now, but
yeah.
Now, Coach, what has this year been like? It was a really great year for the team on, both sides, both the boys and girls. How much is the culture that you've instilled play into that?
I mean, I don't know how much it's played into it. We have a group of young men and ladies that show up every day and work as hard as they can, and they have individual goals, and they're working hard to reach those goals. So as a coach, that's all you can do. That's all you can ask for, and it makes my job a lot easier when you have such a good group of young men and women.
That's a big part of it, and as a coach, you put all this work in. What is it like to actually see that work turn into the type of success that Nina's had?
I think that's what it's all about. Every day we show up and we talk about winning state titles, and she lived that and set that standard, and then she follows it up a month later with a national title, and so I think it helps kids believe, hey, if we show up and work hard every day, maybe we can achieve some of those things that she's achieving as well.
And you had 2 state champions this year.
We did. We had Jocelyn Johnson at 100 pounds, and then obviously Christina Borgman at 125.
And when you're competing at that level, there's got to be a ton of pressure. How do you deal with that? How do you focus? How do you get in the right mindset to have success when performing at such a high level?
I feel like I'm just ready for it. I feel like that's the easy part. The hard part is going to practice every day, even when you don't feel like going to practice. Just going there and working hard. I mean, that's the hard part. And
what keeps you motivated in that process? You say it's hard to practice and keep at it every single day. How do you stay motivated?
It's just something I want. I don't want to stop doing it, so I keep on going.
You want to be the best.
Yeah.
And tell everybody the story. I love this story about what Jocelyn said to you after she won.
Yeah, Jocelyn came up to me and she's like, we got to double it. And she's like, you got this. And then I just went out there and did it.
And when you have a team that's self-motivated, that has to make the job a heck of a lot easier, doesn't it?
I think so. All year we talk about don't worry about a team score, don't worry about what place we're in, go out and take care of business yourself and wrestle for yourself. Go out and wrestle as hard as you can, and if you do that, the team score is going to take care of itself.
And what is it about the sport of wrestling? What got you involved there? You're a great athlete. You can do many different things. What was it about wrestling that inspired you to compete at this level?
I don't know. I just went into practice and I liked it, so I kept on coming.
Is it just the physical aspect of it?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of that. Yeah.
And Coach, getting to do it here at FPC, does that mean more to you, with your brother, with Coach DiAugustino, having family and friends and the community behind you? Does that make it more special?
I think so. I think to me, it's not about coaching wrestling. It's where are you going to coach wrestling? And to me, it was always at FPC. This school and the sport has done a lot for myself and my family, and helped make me the person I am today. And I say this all the time. Coach D is the best high school coach ever, and I firmly believe that. And he set a standard that if you wrestle for FPC, you're expected to win state titles, and that's something that that's the expectation. It's something that we don't take lightly, and our fans and our administration expect that. And me as a coach, I like those expectations put on us. As they give us all the support we need. It's our job to go out and perform.
To be a champion, obviously you have to be a great athlete, and you're a great athlete. But in the sport of wrestling, there's also a lot of technique involved and things that you have to learn and get good at. Talk about that experience of just learning the technique of wrestling to the point to where you can win matches and be a champion. How confident are you in your techniques, and how long did it take to learn those techniques?
It's just a lot of practicing reps. I mean, I haven't always been the type to win all my matches. I've lost matches, and those matches you don't walk away with anything. You learn from all the matches you lose. So with my losses, just go back in the practice room and fix everything.
And what's your best technique, would you say? How do you win, unless you don't want to give away your secrets?
Yeah, my single legs are my go-to move, so I do that, and then mostly to a bar.
All right.
Coach, a lot of your wrestlers have had success in club season as well. Tell us about some of the things they've achieved in the off season. Off season for high school.
Yeah, and we don't like to look at it as off season. It's a spring season. We go all year round, and we got some young men and ladies who are trying to accomplish things at the national level, and that's kind of where we're at now. Is we have a freestyle state tournament 2 weeks away, and that's the next date on the calendar. So that's kind of where my focus is, and then Christina and two more of our girls, Alexa Caledonio and Alicia Villar, are heading out to national duels. And then in July is the biggest tournament in the world, and that's freestyle nationals, and that's kind of where we're focused right now.
So you take a step back from all the hard work, and you get to enjoy it tonight. You're here at the Performing Arts Center, and tonight's about you and your accomplishments. You're being celebrated. How about that? How does it feel to have all those accomplishments acknowledged tonight?
It's just a blessing and honor. I mean, you don't really get this too many other places. I'm blessed to be here and have this opportunity, and with all the other athletes here.
Well, congratulations, Coach. You guys are doing an amazing job. You're a champion, and that's why we're here tonight.
Shameless plug, you can hear an interview with Nina. I interviewed Nina on the way home from Nationals, actually. On the road, we'll hear that interview this week on the Rich and Mike Sports Show. I didn't tell you that yet, did I?
Now I know. On the Rich, and I'm on the Rich and Mike Sports Show. I don't know this. But yeah, Saturday morning at 7:30, WNZF 106.3 FM. You'll hear Nina on the Rich and Mike Sports Show.
Thank you, guys.
Congratulations. Thank you so
Appreciate
much for jumping on. Thank you, Kate. Congrats. All right.
Coach, always good to see you.
It is getting packed out here. WNZF Sports Network here at the FPC Athletic Awards ceremony. It is quite a scene right now, as you can see.
Nina might have won the shoe game tonight. I don't know if we can get a shot of her shoes.
Oh, yeah. She's rocking the really cool green Nikes right there.
Yeah.
A lot of green out here, Mike, including your tie.
Yep. For the first time in my life, probably, I've coordinated so many champions this year. Colby Croft.
Oh, look at Coach Fish right there.
Coach Fish.
Hey, Coach Fish, why don't you come join us here? Look at that.
Coach, good to see you.
How's it going, Coach? Head football coach of the FPC Bulldogs.
I got it the wrong way.
You got it backwards.
There you go. All right, we'll get that mic up there. There
we go.
All right,
Coach, thank you for coming on. First question, it's spring practice. How much better was it to have a full off season this year to kind of get the team ready?
Oh, it was awesome. I think it was very beneficial for me, the coaches, and the entire program. to have an off season in the weight room, to get out there and get more familiar with our scheme and just build the guys' bodies up and get them prepared for this next year. It was awesome to have the whole off season to get that done. So.
And you had a lot of situations last year, including trying to figure out right away, well, who is the quarterback? We saw in Swanee you played 3 different guys, and finally you settle on a player that had never played tackle football before, and he had a lot of success. And I think that shows that there was some good things going on in that coaching room where you were getting the most out of your players in such a short period of time. Just talk about that and how you're able to get the most out of your players.
Absolutely, man. I love the staff we have in place, and we've been fortunate enough to add about 8 to 10 guys to that staff, so I'm very excited to be able to showcase that this year. But I think it speaks a lot to the relationships we build with the kids. Definitely got to give a special shout out to Caden Gonzalez being his first year. He was very coachable, and to be honest with you, it doesn't matter how good of a coach you are if the kids don't accept it. You know what I mean? You're not going to be successful. So Caden did an awesome job coming in, soaking in all the information he could from Coach Medlock and the rest of the coaching staff, and did a great job for us. So he'll always have a special place in my heart and the rest of the coach's heart for stepping up and into a situation he wasn't used to, being able to absorb all the coaching that we gave him, and being able to go on the field and give us a shot at winning every Friday night. So very proud of that kid and how far he came.
And I was at the spring game last year. It looked like the first time he got hit, he was a little shell-shocked, but as the game went on, he just got more comfortable and got better and better, and he carried that over into the fall and all the way to the end. It had to be special for you to see that happen.
Yeah, it's actually a funny story. The first play that he got hit, he came to me and he said, take me out. And I put my hand on his chest and pushed him back out. I was like, nope, get out there. We ain't got nobody else right now. So you don't have a choice. And I agree with you on that note as well. The kid got better every day, got better each week from game to game. And by the end of it, we wish he would have had another year under his belt. I think he could have done amazing things. But we got some good guys in the quarterback room right now that have developed a lot in the offseason. We've built their bodies up. We've learned the scheme a little bit more and improved as throwers for sure.
You had a hard-fighting team last year. You guys competed every game, although sometimes the results weren't what you wanted them to be. What would you say the identity of your team was last year?
I would say early on we had a great defensive line and we had great unity within the team. And then, we got some guys get hurt, so we kind of had to find a new identity. But I would say our guys fought hard for each other and hard for the coaches. And, there was every game, like you said, we went out there, we competed, and we gave it everything we got. Obviously, we were really young last year, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But I think that benefits us this year. We got a lot of young guys' experience, and those guys are coming back with a year of varsity experience under their belt. Some of them still got 3 more years to play. So it's gonna be a fun year, man. I think we return a lot of starters on both sides of the ball. These kids have grown into a family a lot more than they were last year, which I thought they were trending in the right direction towards the end of the season. And they were very disappointed, and so was the coaching staff and the results. Regardless of the situation and who we lost and injuries and all that, we don't make excuses. So we weren't pleased with 3 and 7, and the guys really got in the weight room and out there on the practice field and did something about it. So appreciate it, bro. So we're really excited about this year, man. We've grown a lot.
And how do you change that? How do you go from 3 and 7 to now this year possibly making a playoff run?
I think obviously we took one step in the right direction by having a great off season, and then you watch these guys over the spring really take to heart not making the same mistake twice, pushing each other. There's a lot of competition on the field. There's guys that are rotating with 1s and 2s, so you're just seeing a lot more competition out there, whereas last year we didn't have a lot of depth. We have more depth this year, and you got guys that are still, even at the end of spring, you're still competing for spots because it's not an uneven drop-off like it would have been in the past. From 1s to 2s, it's pretty even there, and those guys are out there fighting for reps every day. So I love to see the increase in competition, the increase in togetherness and family and brotherhood, and then just getting more used to the scheme. We didn't have a lot of time to introduce coaches to players, and we really had to hit the ball running last year. So really excited after a year under the belt to see how much we've grown. And you can already see that in the spring, but we still got very important summer ahead of us, a very important fall camp, and we'll be getting a lot of coaches back. We got a handful of coaches that are out there playing pro ball right now and doing a great job. So getting those guys back will be very beneficial, and just getting the whole staff intact and getting some guys back from injury. You know, we had Carson Cato was out a lot last year. You saw Stacy Mitchell was out a lot last year. Kronk missed the last game. Marcus missed a couple games. I think we're a much more durable team this year, and also in a situation where if a guy or starter gets hurt, we're not in a bad position where we're throwing in a freshman or a guy that doesn't have a lot of experience. So I think our 1s and 2s are pretty solid.
You've got a whole host of athletes, and they've had, tonight is the night where we're going to see the entire athletic program honored, and there's a lot of kids from your team that have made impacts on other programs, whether it's RJ Watson in basketball or Chase McGee in soccer and track, or Colby Kronk is a state champion. As a coach, do you enjoy seeing these guys in the football field being able to excel at other things?
Absolutely, man. I love to see them go and try other things and show their versatility and their athleticism and be able to help all the programs, man. We want all our programs here to succeed, and we love to see our athletes contribute in other ways. So especially you got Colby Kronk winning a state championship and all the guys you named plus more that are contributing a lot to team success. We love to see that, and I think it builds camaraderie on the campus. It builds camaraderie between the head coaches and assistant coaches all working together to build the best athlete we can build.
I think after throwing offensive linemen all year, for Colby Kronk holding that little shot put or holding that discus, it's a lot easier to throw than a left tackle, and Lord knows he's good at that.
Oh,
yes, yeah. Very good. He posts the highest throw in the history of Florida by a junior and 10th highest overall. So.
That's great. Do you think that helps on the football field when these players have success in other areas that can maybe give you confidence on the football field?
Yeah, I think it definitely builds confidence, and then it shows how versatile they are, and then when you build confidence in an athlete, they feel like they're unstoppable, and that's what we want. We never want cockiness, but we want guys to be confident as they can be, and to be able to go out and showcase all their hard work in other sports. I think almost all sports can translate to each other when it comes to fundamentals and when it comes to just athleticism overall. So, yeah, I think all the success that they have in other sports, they can have that same type of success in our sport, and it'll give them more confidence to do so.
And before you go, Thursday night, you have one more game before the summer. Tell us about Thursday night, who's coming to town and what we can expect.
So Pine Ridge will be coming to town at 7 o'clock on Thursday night. Please come out and support your FPC Bulldogs. I think you'll see a much improved team from last year. We're still missing a couple pieces due to injury and stuff like that, but like I said, we have depth this year, so no matter who we put out there, we're always going to put a good product out there, and I think we'll be able to showcase some of the things that we're going to be able to do. We're not going to show all the tricks that we got and all the scheme that we got, but we're going to go out there and condense the playbook down a little bit, and I think you'll see drastic improvement from the last game you saw us play. So we just want to get the community excited about what's to come, and want to give these guys the opportunity to go out there and compete and showcase what they've been able to accomplish in the offseason and over the spring, and show that we have, we don't just have 11 guys on each side of the ball. We got about 20 to 25 on each side of the ball. And very excited for everybody to go out there and get some reps and to compete and show what they've been working on.
Well, Coach Fish, thank you so much, and we look forward to calling the games on the radio and streaming them on YouTube, and much success going forward here.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me. I promise we'll be announcing more wins this year than last year.
So I'm looking forward to
we'll see you Thursday night, Coach. I'll see you Thursday night.
All right. There he is, Coach Fish, FPC Bulldog football team.
Thanks, Coach.
WNZF here at the FPC athletic ceremony. Yeah, it looks like we have some more guests here. Somebody else popping by.
Kevin, good to see you.
How's it going? Let's get some.
We got the baseball team coming in.
Right. You guys sit down right there.
Coach, good to see you.
Got some headsets for you guys there. You got two there.
Coach,
hey, how's it going?
Coach Kyle Marsh, Coach of the Year by the Daytona Beach News Journal.
So we'll start with the players here, Mike.
Kevin, Connor, good to see you guys.
Nice to see you too.
Good to see you too.
So this year got It was an up and down season, but you guys finished strong. What turned the season around for you guys?
I think just the mentality of like all the players, how
Bring
they,
that mic up a little bit.
just the mentality of like all the players, how they handle their attitudes. It was a really, really hard time going down. I think it was 5 games in a row, and we just kept battling, kept fighting, and we made our way up.
Yeah, just what Connor said. Our team had ups and downs. Just at the end, we picked it up, and we just had a run up of wins, and that's how I think we got better.
What is that like as a baseball team where, you struggle a little bit early, and that's baseball, right? But then you turn it around, and then it's like an avalanche. You win game after game after game. How does your confidence build during that stretch? Do you just feel like you can't lose as a team? What's that dugout like?
You feel like the whole team has your back. You feel pumped up every time you get an out, every time you get everything, because you know your team has your back, and you know that it's a better vibe in the dugout and just better all around.
I just feel like we were unstoppable. Like we could make any errors and we could still make a comeback. Even down 5 runs, 10 runs, still it didn't matter. You can just come back anyway.
One thing both of you guys had this year was consistency. I know, Kevin, you showed flashes last year, but this year you were really able to put it together and be more consistent. What was the key to that for you?
Just have a mentality that my team is always going to have my back and just pitch with confidence.
And Connor, every time the team needed a big play, whether it's offensively or defensively, you seem to come through for them. What drives you to do that?
Just trying to get to the ultimate goal of winning a state championship. I couldn't do it this year, but I mean, it's hard to do. I just try to do my best any way I can.
And you both are committed to college. You're both going to be college teammates.
Yep.
You guys excited for that opportunity?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Teammates, maybe roommates? What's going on?
Yeah, we're going to be roommates.
That's awesome. So, and during the course of a season, even the baseball season at this level is pretty long. You play a lot of games. How do you keep that focus throughout the season? Even when you're losing early, how do you keep the focus to be able to have success later on?
Just always keep grinding, keep in practice, always focus in practice, give all you got, and just keep the team together so we can stay focused to the end.
How about you, Connor?
I mean, it's just all about flipping the switch come game time. That's all it really matters.
And what do you, Connor, I'll start with you. What do you love about the game of baseball? What keeps you coming back and wanting to be a part of this?
Just the grind. I just love the grind. Love getting in the weight room. Love grinding out with my teammates. All the after practice activities makes the game a lot of fun.
Just same thing. I just love hanging out with my teammates. Just the coaches. Just love this game.
And there are so many things you could do in the sport. When did you realize, hey, I can pitch. I got some movement on these pitches. I can do this.
Last year, coach gave me an opportunity, and I was like, man, I got to run with this. So.
And what do you love? Is it base running? Is it hitting? What do you love most about the game?
I love hitting. I love finding the barrel of the bat and just getting that nice solid contact with the ball.
And what's the key for you in the batter's box?
Just kind of staying locked in, finding as much barrel as I can, try and help the team out as best as possible.
Try to get the coach in here a little bit. Let's get the coach a microphone. Coach Marsh. Coach, tonight is a night where we're honoring these athletes. It was a year, you had a successful year on the diamond. Not to mention the 2 wins over Matanzas, right? We covered those games, the Old Kings Diamond Series. What is it like here to be here tonight and to be able to acknowledge the effort that the team gave you this year?
One, I think it's a good atmosphere. Just to acknowledge these guys and what they did all year is awesome. Like you guys kind of said previously, we kind of struggled in the beginning of the year trying to figure out, what kind of team we were going to be. And I think the sooner we realized that we weren't going to be a team that hit home runs, we weren't going to be a team that was going to throw 95 on the mound, and we just stayed together as a team. And understood that we were going to have to compete every game, and we were going to have to play hard every game. We have to at practice, in the classroom, and I think these guys finally understood, bought in, and I think that's why we were able to, turn the page on our season and do what we did this year.
Coach,
yeah, go ahead. Mike.
I say, Coach, in your second year at FPC, your record in April and May is incredible. It seems like your teams really find themselves when it matters most. How do you get the most out of your team at those critical points in the season?
I think it's just getting them to understand in the fall. It starts in the fall, but understanding and getting them to understand that, you're going to have failures. I think that was the biggest thing for me getting here was, teaching these kids how to deal with failure. We struggled with it in the beginning. We didn't know how to deal with it. We were shuffling with it. And the sooner that they had bought in and understood, hey, we're going to fail, how do we bounce back from failing? And, just sitting them down, having heart-to-hearts with them, and having them understand that, the season's not over. Baseball's a long year, and it's just getting hot at the right time. I tell them all the time, it doesn't matter if we go 0-25 or 25-0. It's just getting hot that last couple of weeks, and whatever team can get hot those last couple of weeks is going to take it all. And I think they've bought in and understood that, the ups and downs are going to happen, and we just got to keep fighting.
I love to ask the coaches this. When you look back at the 2024 season and you look at the FPC Bulldogs, what would you say your team's identity was? Who were the Bulldogs in 2024?
Gritty. That's the biggest thing for me is they had grit. They didn't stop fighting. They were going to fight 24/7, no matter if they were down 10 or up 10. We were staying in games later in the year. We struggled with that in the beginning, but towards the end, we understood and bought in and knew that you have to play 7 innings, and every inning, every time they were in the dugout, every time they were hustling on and off the field, they bought in and they didn't give up.
Right down to the end in that last playoff game against Timber Creek, you guys played a very, very good Timber Creek team and fought them down to the end. What is it like? It was a loss in the playoffs, but it was an improvement from last year. Is there any positive that you take out of a game like that?
There's a lot to take out of it. The same spot we kind of got into last year. For one, we kind of knew we were going to get in last year. This year, we were kind of on the fence waiting to figure out if we were going to get in. To come out like that and play like that with, we had a couple days off. We didn't really do anything, didn't touch a baseball, and got them out there as soon as we could when we found out. But to do that compared to what we did last year, I think is a huge improvement. Just everything that they did, they bought in, but just they changed the culture of FPC baseball, and I'm just a small piece of that. And, I couldn't be more thankful of the things that they have done throughout the last 2 years that I've been here. And, I think that's the biggest thing for, the FPC baseball in general is people now know of us, and they're going to know of us for years to come. And there's no taking FPC baseball easy, and they put themselves on a map.
Yep, you guys, you go out there, you play every night, and I got to say, it was a pleasure to watch you guys play baseball this year, and we're looking forward to it again. Continued success, and congratulations on tonight, really.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, fellas. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Connor.
Thank you, guys.
Coach, good to see you. So, might try to squeeze one more guest in as the party's starting to wrap up. We've got a state champion.
Yeah, we take one more. Who we got?
Yeah.
Who we got?
Coach, good to see you.
Good to see you.
All right.
Coach Hagstrom,
Yes, sir.
another successful season in the weight room. Tell us about this year. What stood out to you this year?
Well, we were really young. I only had 4 or 5 seniors, and a couple of those were first-timers. So, really, we only had two or three true seniors. So it was kind of a rebuild. It's been a rebuilding year for a couple of years now, and I think we're starting to get into a rhythm now. And I'm hoping hopefully next year we can maybe make a run for the title again.
And did you look at that experience when you get into a situation like that as a coach? Does that turn into teacher mode? Well, now I have to teach this art, and that's how we advance and get more success.
A little bit, but I've tried to create a culture in the weight room to where the older guys kind of lead the way. They've learned, they've lifted for me. Like Nick has been with me 4 years, and he can kind of show everybody the ropes, and they just kind of feed off that energy that the veterans give. It works pretty well. Sometimes you do have to kind of start over when you get rid of a lot of kids, but we've been fortunate, like the past couple of years, that we haven't had a ton of seniors. So.
And for those that don't know, Nick, you set a few school records this year. What was this year like for you?
Hard, to say the least. I had a lot of mental blocks leading up to the like, I guess the state series. I hit really good numbers in training, and then when I would go to compete during a meet, it's just like the numbers wouldn't happen the same way. But overall, I'd say it was pretty good. I put about 10 pounds on my snatch, 20 on my clean and jerk, and like 15 on my bench, I think, overall.
Now, how do you push yourself beyond your limit? Because obviously you probably got there and said, okay, this is my limit, and then, you know what, I can do another 10 pounds. How do you push yourself beyond your limits?
You just try it, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I have a lot of failed attempts. When I was first hitting 315, I have probably about 6 or 7 attempts where I didn't hit it. And eventually everything clicked, and technique was right. I was feeling strong, and I ended up hitting it.
So I'm not so familiar with the sport, but when you're able
Clearly.
to do that, I mean, of course, Mike. I'm more into going below my average. I'm like, that's better. But when you're able to exceed what you previously did, that's not about strength, right? That's more about technique and knowing the sport.
It's a mix of both. There's a certain point where you can have the best technique in the world, and if you're not strong enough, you're not strong enough. That's just not going to happen. So it's kind of like
there's no hope for me.
No.
I'd say it's like 60-40, almost like 60% technique, 40% strength, because a person who's more technically sound will always beat a stronger person in the long run, but it's more a matter of like the correct combination of those things.
Coach, let's talk about your better half for a minute. Now, my nephew, he's at Spruce Creek. He's a freshman. This was his first year weightlifting, so he's coming a long way. And I noticed that when Spruce Creek was here, your wife was giving my nephew some tips, and I said, you better listen to that woman because she is literally the best in the world at weightlifting. I said, so anything she tells you, it's gospel. What's it like to be the second best lifter in the family?
Well, it's funny because when she talks, people listen, and when I talk, they don't listen so well. So it's definitely an interesting experience dynamic that we have. I don't necessarily suggest anybody to ever coach their significant other, but she's amazing, and she had a little bit of a setback here recently. She broke her arm, so she got picked to be on the all-star team for the nationals, and that kind of got set. We're kind of put on hold. So hoping she can come back and make a big comeback. I always say a big setback makes for a bigger comeback. So.
And how many world records does she have?
Like 12.
Wow.
Way more. I have a couple world records, but nothing significant like what she has. It's pretty crazy. And she's only been competing for 5 or 6 years. So
that's incredible. It just shows sometimes it's not about how long you're doing something. It's about your dedication to the art, the sport, and how much you're willing to put into it.
It's the coaching.
It's the coach. It's all about the coaching. Right, Nick? It's all about the coach, right?
State championships, world records, it's all the coaching. I agree.
And how about tonight where we get to honor the local athletes and celebrate what the year has brought us?
It's amazing. We look forward to this every year. Get to see all the amazing athletes and all the accolades that they get, and the great kids and the super students and all that. It's super exciting.
Hey, congratulations on the school records.
Thank you.
Coach, congratulations for coaching Nick. And
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so have a good night.
Go enjoy it, all right?
I'm going to try and steal. Well, he's going in. I'm going to try and steal Coach Halliday.
We got
and the state champion.
We got Colby Cronk coming on here.
You don't want me. You want him.
Well, yeah, I wasn't gonna break your heart, but have a seat.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah,
you got a headset there. All right.
Colby, I said to Coach Fish, I said after, throwing a shot put and throwing a discus is easy after throwing tackles all year. But was this beyond your expectation going into discus and shot put this year?
I mean, that was my goal, to be a state champion, but I wanted to get a good throw out of it. I didn't want to just throw a mediocre throw and still win. I wanted to get after it,
And we talked about this on Saturday. Your first throw in shot put was the longest of the day, and then you beat that by about a quarter meter, and you beat that second throw by a full meter.
Heck
Yeah.
yeah.
What was your mindset going into that?
So by the time I threw the second one, I knew that I was pretty set. I was in a comfortable position. So then, Coach Speaks, my throwing coach, told me to just get after it as hard as you can, and that's what I did, and it showed up, I think.
And then in the discus, early on, you had the longest throw in the discus, and then that kid from Childs caught fire.
That guy, he went crazy. Props to him. He did really good.
So set the stage. I think the longest throw before yours was about 53 meters.
Right.
And then you threw yours 56.06, which is a personal best, I believe. What was your previous personal best, by the way?
I think it was a 50.993.
So he was throwing. And then this kid from Childs won 57 and 59, but still a silver medal. And he had a great line. I'm going to make you say it again about, everybody knows that Michaela was a decorated swimmer here at FPC. Great at Florida, as much as it pains me as a Bulldog fan to say that. She was, just an incredible athlete. What was it like to join the club?
I say it's pretty cool. I try measuring up to her as best I can. It's pretty dang hard 'cause she's a freak athlete, but I do what I can.
Yeah, I heard you on the radio. You said something like, well, she has 7, right?
Yeah, yeah, she does. 7 state championships. It's just crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible. You've been such a dominant force for FPC athletics for a few years now.
Thank you.
And on the football field, we call the games on the radio. How often do we call the name Kobe Cronk when they're on defense?
Get cronked up.
Yeah, get cronked up.
That's right.
The big hits on the quarterback. You get it done out there. And now state champion. Is there any moment you could point to at your career now where 10, 15 years from now, you're going to look back and say, wow, I did that?
Definitely throwing 19.22 meters. I still look back on it after on Sunday. I was like, dang.
You surprised yourself?
That's a pretty good throw.
Did you ever do that in practice?
No. So I hit close to maybe an 18.8, but I never hit 19. No. So
how do you you practice, and then you get under the biggest lights, the biggest stage, and you exceed what you think you can do. How does that happen?
The adrenaline, I think. You get a little adrenaline rush. You're trying to, you got a lot of competition there, trying to show people up,
Yeah.
10th longest throw in the history of the FHSAA, and I believe the longest by a junior, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
Oh, yep.
Now, Coach Halliday, it was a successful year for the entire team. You had a couple of throwers. Well, you had 3 throwers in the javelin, a couple of pole vaulters. Colby, you had on the girls' side. You had Maya Tyson. You had the relay team. You've been at this a long time. You've had a lot of success. How do you keep each year? How does this not get stale for you? What keeps your passion going to keep building a great team every year?
Every year it's a new book. It's a new chapter. I had another reporter ask me about that the other day. It's always different. You have some of the same people, and then you have new people. But how do those kids interact? How do the younger ones? How do they mature? How do they move up? How does their leadership develop? How is the camaraderie between them? How is the work ethic? It changes from year to year. The boys team was 4th in the state last year with a chance to win the state title. Colby was a part of that as a younger athlete. Now this year he's taken that to a whole new level just in his own his own practice and his own performance. And we always talk about being at your best when it matters most. There's lots of teams and kids that do well when it doesn't matter. And by that, you can be great when there's no pressure. But he easily had the single best throwing day in the history of FPC or Flagler County. It may be one of the top 5 ever in the state of Florida from the standpoint of not all those kids are good in the discus and the shot put. So it was amazing. So not only did he win one and he got second in the other, he had 2 massive school records. So he threw 183 feet and he threw 63 feet. The last person I saw that throw that far was Vince Wilfork.
Does that come as a shock to you as a coach when you get an athlete young? And do you see those possibilities, or does it surprise you when we get here?
Yes and no. A lot of times you get kids and they're 14, 15 years old, and you just don't know what they can do, and you just keep you pour into them, and you see what you get back. And kids grow, and especially on the boys' side, a lot of those kids aren't ready at 14 or 15. It takes to be 16, 17, 18 before they figure it out, before they mature physically, emotionally, etc.
Now, we're honoring the entire program here tonight, but your program is kind of the melting pot for the program. You have kids from just about every sport in the school. What's it like for you to have to bring kids from totally different disciplines together to be successful?
It's fun, I think. You get kids that are soccer kids and wrestling kids and basketball and cross country and football and swimming and cheerleading, and that's the fun part of kind of melding those personalities together and those different programs. And we just we do what we do, and we pour into the kids all of our effort and heart and everything like that. And I think it just comes back to us tenfold as far as that goes, and it's a lot of fun. And I think if you look at some of the other teams, when some of the other teams have been their best ever, they had more kids involved in track and field.
And tonight, as you said, it's about the athletes' athletic awards ceremony. Now you can relax a little bit, not completely, but you can relax a little bit and take a look back at this past year of football, the state champion. What does it mean to you to have a night like tonight where we can acknowledge it and appreciate it and celebrate it?
I think it's a relief because all the season's over and all that. I'm able to sit down and see like everyone else's accomplishments, my own, look back on it. So I think it's pretty good.
What's next for Colby Cronk? What are you looking forward to?
Well, on Thursday we got the spring game coming up
there
for football, so right away.
Ready to get on
back
the
to
field.
Throwing. This time we're back to throwing people.
That's right.
I don't want to keep you guys from the party too long. Thank you. Hey, congratulations for the incredible accomplishments, and congratulations on tonight. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Take care. Hey, thank you. I
Thank
feel
you.
like
Good
I'm
to
the
see you,
last
Coach.
guy left at the party here.
You should be
That's
used to
never
that.
a good thing. Coach, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Colby Cronk, by the way, is a UNC or NC State. Let me not say UNC. Big difference. NC State commit in football. I asked him about the possibility of him throwing in college. He hadn't really thought that far ahead yet, but last year I said he would have double-digit sacks. I'm going to go ahead and say it now that he's gone, and I think he's going to have 15 sacks this year. 15's the number, so come back in August.
Are you worried about the broadcaster jinx?
Not with Colby Cronk.
Oh, yeah, too talented. He's going to have a big season. He always does.
It's always Flagler County touchdown time, second and third quarter.
That's right. We're going to have to do something about this. But, yeah, of course, football coming up. But we got a whole summer off now. This was a great way to put a bow on the WNZF Sport Network. I don't want to say inaugural season, but the first year where we were
first
really
full school year,
full school.
Going wire to wire.
Yeah, and it was a lot of fun. And again, thank you to FPC High School. Thank you, Coach Drabzik, for making this happen and inviting us out. It really meant a lot.
It really does, and stay tuned in the morning sports. I'll still be covering stuff like we were just talking to Coach Bosserdette. We'll have club wrestling. I'll be covering Royal Palm soccer, as you heard Coach Amiri talk about. The men's team is the defending state champion. The women's team is just getting started, but being able to draw on the soccer talent in this area, and particularly in this building, I think they'll be off to a pretty quick start. So there'll still be more to talk about. We'll hopefully be talking about the Florida Panthers getting beat.
Oh, yes.
The Tampa Rays losing some games.
I'm still devastated from the Knicks loss, and then
don't ruin the night. Don't ruin the night.
And then finally, Yankees won 7 games in a row. They have my full attention, and they blow a game in the 9th inning. But that's the way it goes. Again, Mike Licio with the WNZF Sports Reports every Monday and Friday from 6 to 9 on WNZF 106.3 FM. And, of course, don't forget about the Rich and Mike Sports Show Saturday mornings at 7:30 on WNZF, and you can check it out anytime on the Flagler radio app. Mike, thank you so much for being here.
What a great night. You hope that it's going to be a great night. We didn't really know what we were getting into, but it turned out to be even better than we could have hoped, honestly.
Congratulations to all the athletes, and thank you again, FPC.